Disclaimer. The following episode contains spoilers for She-Ra and the Princesses of Power Season 5. Don't go crying to your mum if we spoil it for you. You've been warned. Welcome to Podcapers, the official podcast for a place to hang your cape. And this week, it's the end of the gayest thing ever. Cue the music. And as I said, welcome to Podcapers, the official podcast for a place to hang your cape. My name's Scott James Merridew, and this is the show where I talk about various geek and nerd-related topics, and I'm joined each week by a very special different guest. She's been on the show 4 times before talking about this. She's here again for the finale. It's Alex Mirabal.
Yay, hi.
Hello, Alex. So, what a ride, huh?
Very good ride. Worth it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much I want to talk about with this, but I can't because before we do that, we've got to get into the news. So the big news I want to talk about is 2 big news I want to talk about, and both of them are DC related. I'm sure you're ecstatic. Let's get the big news out of let's just get the slightly smaller news out of the way first. Ruby Rose is going to leave Batwoman.
Yeah, she almost got herself paralyzed doing stunts on that show. I do not blame her for a second.
Not to mention the fair amount of sexism and homophobia she faced.
She was gonna face that anyway because she's a queer woman in reality. But there is a lot of miscommunication about some of the shit that she got. For her casting, and part of it was the fact that she's not Jewish, and the show does a very good job at avoiding the fact that she's Jewish. And I say good job as in like they don't fucking like a terrible job. They don't fucking talk about it. It doesn't exist. She was never Jewish, and she's not anti-military, which she's been an anti-military Jewish queer character for fucking a while.
And so they missed out 2 of those, so they got 1 of them right. Right, okay. I don't really blame her then, like you said, for not wanting to be part of that show anymore. Hopefully the show will... I say hopefully. I don't watch the show, I'll be honest. I
watched the pilot. It sucks. Like, it sucks. There's no mincing about it. It's just Supergirl, but darker. It literally, they took basically the same premise of my cousin is a bigger superhero than me, but I'm going to try my own thing because I'm a woman and girl power. And just constantly reminding you about Superman and Batman. Just never stops. Like, oh yeah, I'm getting all this shit from Batman. I'm not doing anything on my own. We're going to keep talking about it all the time.
I mean, I don't want to turn this into a review of the Batwoman, but I've watched like 3 episodes, and it's not for me. The problem is, I can't tell the difference between these goddamn CW shows anymore. I'm starting to get back into Legends of Tomorrow because that's slightly different and slightly better for me. But that's because it's just a bunch of interesting characters that sort of share the limelight on equal footing, going out with each other, and just... I don't know, it just feels more fun. But yeah, so this is Ruby Rose, and I like Ruby Rose. I think she's a good actor, so I hopefully we'll see her in better, different roles in the future. Yeah.
She's a big movie star. I don't know why she took this role in the first place.
I don't know, actually, either why.
John Wick. She's fine.
I mean, if it felt like a bit of a downgrade. I mean, maybe she was really into the character. Maybe she really, really wanted to be part of it. Who knows?
Yeah.
But the bigger news is the fact that we, and by we I mean other people, because I don't give a shit, are getting the Snyder Cut.
I was thoroughly surprised. I was like, Warner Brothers is never going to, admit fault. They're never going to admit that, they're releasing the Snyder Cut so late after the actual movie came out is just admitting, hey, we fucked up. And
Yeah, but at this point, the box office, they're not going to get any more boxes of returns or Blu-ray sales or whatever. Everyone who's subscribed to DC Universe or whatever it's called, is already subscribed. So really, they got nothing to lose but a bit of PR. But even then, they could say, well, you know what? We're the ones that release the Snyder Cut, so in that way, they own it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think it's not done yet. Obviously, I think they just got confirmation that it's happening, and I don't think they're funding it. I think Zach's funding it, which makes sense. They don't want to lose any more money on this than they already have.
Yeah.
So
and you know what's going to happen?
It's going to be finished. And that's all I can hope for.
Yeah, it's going to be finished. It's going to be released. And everyone will give a great big cry of, well, that was not better, not worse, just slightly different.
I would rather have a worse complete movie than what we got. Because what we got was let's just throw everything in a meat grinder and maybe we'll get Marvel out of it. And it just doesn't work at all because it's so. I hate that movie. I hate that movie with all my heart and soul, and everything that was done to it is just an absolute travesty.
Oh my God, sir! Will you please just cut off the mustache? No, you had your chance, and now I'm keeping the mustache.
It wasn't even Henry that said no. It wasn't Henry that said. It wasn't Henry that said no. It was whoever the studio is that owns Mission Impossible.
I want to say Paramount?
Yeah, something like that. In his contract, he said he wasn't allowed to shave it.
Oh, okay. Well, even for the purpose of my slight little skit, Henry didn't want to shave off the mustache. But it's just, oh God, it's so weird. The controversy with that movie, for want of a better phrase, it's just, it boiled down to big, small, medium, and just sort of not petty, but insignificant, and yet still a controversy. We're still talking about the fucking upper lip of Superman. Why are we talking about the upper? I don't want to talk about Superman's upper lip. Of all his body parts, that's the one I am least interested in. And yes, I mean that. But God. So congratulations, DC superfans. You're getting a Snyder Cut. It will not make you happy. You think it will, but it won't.
The mere existence of it, I think once it's finished, I am at least happy that we are getting a final product because it feels like something that it's closure. It's something that has been on especially DC fans' minds for years, and something that was okay, it's probably not gonna. I mean, for me and the people I hang out with online, it's not gonna happen. But you know what? It would have been cool closure if it did, and now it is. It is happening. The next one, though, people want is the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, which I think is horse shit because David Ayer said after Suicide Squad came out that was his. He's like, that's my cut. And there's only an extended version. There's no director's cut of Justice League already. There's already a director's cut of Suicide Squad, but it's just 2 more scenes.
Yeah, I thoroughly believe that Suicide Squad was David Ayer's movie.
It's David Ayer.
So what is I don't know. I don't care. Believe it or not, I don't actually care. Do you know what I do care about? She-Ra!
Yeah.
I mean, oh God, I love this show. I do love this show for all its ups and downs, for the fact the long seasons and the short seasons. I absolutely adore the show, and I wish it was an ending. And I'm going to get further into detail on that later on. But I think we should just start talking about it. So we pick up where season 4 left off, and quick recap of season 4. Shit went down.
Yeah, some bad things happened.
So the universe may got undone. She-Ra's shore got shattered, so Adora couldn't access the power of She-Ra anymore.
Catra and Glimmer got kidnapped by Horde Prime.
Oh yeah, and then Horde Prime comes up because then Etheria gets transported back out of its pocket dimension or whatever it was in, and now it's part of the universe, and Horde Prime is there to mess shit up, and he brainwashes Hordak, and that's where we pick off. So we pick off with the Robbers basically saying, okay, we got to get Glimmer back. And Adora's now fighting with a big old bow staff, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's like 4 seconds.
But she's a bit reckless, though. She's a bit gung-ho about it all, mainly because, like, she doesn't have the She-Ra powers anymore. And that is something that Adora would definitely do, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Like, she is going all in because she's so used to going all in as She-Ra, but she can't be doing that anymore because she doesn't have the same... She doesn't have the same constitution stat as she does when she's She-Ra.
Nor the strength stat, nor the dexterity stat. Same wisdom stat, let's be honest.
Yeah. Still Adora when she's She-Ra.
Yeah, and everyone's the whole planet is basically just like freaking out. Everyone's running from something. The rebellion is in tatters.
They left Bright Moon like entirely. We don't see Bright Moon once this season.
Oh yeah, that's a good point actually. I remember they left, but I forgot. Like, oh yeah, we never actually saw. Well, it's not really important for the season because everyone's sort of going all over the place. It's about bringing everyone together this season. Yeah. It's not just about one single place, and we really see more of the inhabitants of Etheria this season than we do all the other seasons. We've seen them quite a bit in the previous seasons, but now we see all kinds of different people. There's a tiny, cute little fawn girl who's got a She-Ra doll.
Yeah.
So cute. Oh, so cute. But things are made better by the fact that Adora is getting recurring visions of a big glowy person who is clearly She-Ra in her dreams. And so she and Bo are basically just trying to keep the rebellion together. Meanwhile, back on Horde Prime shit, Catra is trying to integrate herself with Horde Prime, all while Glimmer is a prisoner. And oh my god, the scenes with Horde Prime and Glimmer, and by extension Catra, are nerve-wrackingly tense.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah.
So, like, it sounds weird saying it out loud, but really when you watch it, it's nail-bitingly tense. He invites Glimmer to dinner, and she arrives, and he gives, like, a jelly dish, like wibble-wobble jelly on a plate. And it's like, oh, it's the most wonderful dish from a planet far, far away that I completely and utterly destroyed while Glimmer is and she stares at this jelly dish full of horror, and it sounds silly, but in context, it's actually brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen...
Horde Prime is fucked. Like, he is the ultimate villain.
Because he doesn't do a lot physically, but he is still incredibly intimidating because he shows Glimmer, can't remember if it was in this episode or a later episode, a room full of like artifacts and objects and art that he has taken from various worlds that he has completely destroyed. And there's a lot of artifacts. Mm-hmm. And it's all to intimidate her. It's all to get her to acquiesce to his demands and stuff. All while he's maintaining this facade of politeness and civility. He's like a Bond villain, but, not a bit shit.
He gives me big, like, Raul, Julia, M. Bison vibes.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
just like, I'm helping people. I don't know what I don't understand why people are so quick to get pissed off at me. I'm helping you. Like, this is cool.
It's the classic thing. Every villain thinks they're the hero of their own story. That will make some great villains. Yeah. And it's clearly the mindset they're going with this guy. And because they're in space, and because they're on his ship, She-Ra and the Rebellion Adora and the Rebellion need to get to space. Who's going to get them into space? Entrapta!
My best girl!
I love her.
Noelle recently confirmed that she has been written to be autistic, which makes me very happy.
That was somewhat something that we long suspected, and it's confirmed. Well, it's not confirmed literally, but it's made a bit more implicit in terms of dialogue in later episodes that she does. that she doesn't quite get a lot of people. It doesn't quite get what exactly people want out of her, at least, if not literally, then emotionally. But she does understand machines and technology. But that doesn't mean she doesn't care about people. And she gets a lot of character development, and
I love her so, like, I think this season solidified her as, like, probably my favorite character. I feel like Catra's too easy to point as my favorite character. Like, I love Catra, and I adore her, and she's exactly my type of character, but I think I just really like Entrapta.
I really do like Catra. I think she's a very intriguing, very layered character. But there comes a point where I just want to kind of shake her and just say, oh my God, just get over it. Guess what? Not everyone is going to agree with you and be on your side 100% of the time, and that's okay. It doesn't mean they're suddenly your enemy. I get it. I understand
Shadow Weaver.
why.
That's where she learned it.
Yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it, but after 5 seasons of it wears a little bit thin. But in fairness, it's not focused on that much in the season. When it is focused on, it's for a very good purpose. So I can live with it, you know? And one of the ways, and the great thing is she's repeating similar patterns, but she's starting to realize that those patterns aren't going to work this season because she tries to ingratiate herself, as we said, with Horde Prime. But Glimmer points out to her, like, yeah, do you really think that's going to work? Because once he's done with you, once you've given him everything he wants, he will toss you aside or do horrible things to you. So, that's what happens. That's what people like him do. You know, we don't do that, but he will. And she's like,
the only person he trusts is himself. So, he'll just make you him.
Yeah, because he has a fucking army of clones that are exactly like him. And it turns out he's sort of kept himself alive for centuries for just like transplanting his consciousness into various clones. Because he's got all like cyber tech and stuff. He's got like weird like cable dreads.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's weird. And so it's not going to work out. And Catra's like, oh yeah, I'm starting to get it. And doesn't help the fact that Glimmer, in a moment of weakness, when she sees the door about to be killed, reveals what Horde Prime is after this whole time: the Heart of Etheria, which is like the big doomsday weapon from last season that can like blow up planets and shit. Is that what it can do, or like end the universe? I don't know.
It's hard. I think it like channels the magic and like sucks all of the magic out of the planet in order to like destroy other planets, which is what the first ones were trying to do. They were trying to turn it into a weapon. And so they set up the infrastructure for that, and that's what the Heart of Etheria is.
Yeah, so Glimmer reveals that to Horde Prime. Catra's starting to get doubts about allying herself with him. And meanwhile, Adora, actually in the space of one episode, gets over a whole rush into danger recklessly thing. I'm kind of glad, actually. I'm glad they didn't drag, And they discover a secret part of the Whispering Woods where the rebellion can hide out. And then we go into the second episode, where Horde Prime shows Glimmer that artifact room, and she's like, "No, screw you! I'm gonna break your shit, man!" And meanwhile, Adora, despite not being quite as gung ho, is getting just like exhausted, just completely and utterly worn down by trying to keep the rebellion together. And so Bo's like, hey, you could like sleep now, because like otherwise you're no use to anyone. She's like, no, fight, because I'm so tired. And then we get so many great Bo moments in the season, because so many funny moments with him, because he then proceeds to have kind of like a freak out with everyone interrupting when he's just trying to get Adora to go to sleep. Just like, sleep! God damn it!
Yeah. Yeah, Bo is doing a lot this season. Just trying to keep everything together.
Bless him. We all have that one friend who's just like, can everyone just please get along? Can we just, like, for 5 minutes, can nothing go wrong, please? Oh, God. And so while Adora is unconscious, Mr. Is it Seahawk? Perfumer, at any rate. Mr. Perfumer and Froster and Chapter attempt to track the signal of Horde Prime's ship by
Yeah, I don't think Seahawk's there. It's impossible to ignore when Seahawk is there.
That's a very good point.
I have a feeling that he wasn't.
I'm confusing that with another scene later. They try to go to these spire things that Horde Prime is like broadcasting a giant image of himself. God, ego much. In order to track the thing. And because Entraptor gets so enraptured, or entraptured, with the tech, shut up, that was funny. She tends to wander off a little bit, and so Mr. kind of has a bit of freak out of her, which was kind of justified, but then we feel bad for Entraptor when she explained, like I said before, she doesn't get people, but she does want to help people. And Mr. Bless her, with a door out, she's sort of like taken up the mantle of command, and she really doesn't like that.
Yeah, Marista's not I don't think anyone that they pass around the leadership to is just like, I don't want this.
Please no. I've seen what we're up against. I've seen what we've got going on. I don't want to be responsible for all that shit. But they managed to get the information they need, and also learn that Prime is basically conducting a full-scale invasion of Etheria now. And Modora basically, after she gets a bit of rest, realizes, okay, I don't have She-Ra powers. That's fine. I'll just have to live with it. Okay, so what are you guys up to? Hey, mister, what's going on? You need to leave now! Why? Because invasion. Like, if you're going to go and get Glimmer, you got to do it now. And so, it's great because now Micah's part of the rebellion.
Oh, yes.
And in order to distract like Horde Prime's army, he dresses up like She-Ra.
I love that. Micah as She-Ra is so good.
It's just like wig and everything. I don't know. It's just and you know what I love about it? No one draws attention to it. No one makes a joke. It's just everyone's like, "Oh, that's a good strategy," and he's like, "That's fine. I feel really comfortable in the skirt." That's it's.
Yeah, it's like it's chill.
It is. It's very very chill, and it's great. And that leads us into episode 3. So now Adora, Bo, and Entraptor are on the ship going through space. And I kind of like this because the original He-Man and by extension She-Ra cartoon often had them like going into space and doing all kinds of sci-fi shit. It wasn't just fantasy. So this feels like I don't want to say callback, but it feels reminiscent of that.
Right.
And surprise, surprise, the ship malfunctions. Entraptor tries to take it apart. Bo tries to stop her from taking it apart. Adora tries to stop herself from touching anything. Ends up touching everything.
Yep.
and then and then we see Entraptor just sort of float in the background outside of the ship, and it takes like Adora and Bo like a full minute to realize she's out there.
She asked for a blowtorch and a really, 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 really long piece of string. And that's why.
Oh, God. And then
Wally her way through space.
Oh, God. Meanwhile, while that's going on, Catra and Glimmer start to bond a lot more. And Horde Prime discovers this and says, okay, gloves are off, kitten. Oh, wait, no, he doesn't call her kitten. He keeps on calling her little sister.
Yeah, because all of the Hordax and Horde Prime, they're all little brother to Horde Prime. And so, in order to ingratiate her, she's little sister.
Oh, it's weird. It's weird. And so it eventually gets to the point where Catra tells Prime, okay, Adora's coming to rescue Glimmer, but then she has a crisis of conscience, which is probably like a 12th crisis of conscience since we started the show. And basically Catra's like, screw it, I'm doing the right thing for once. She frees Glimmer, and gets into like a Star Trek transporter teleporter thing, but sends her into space.
Well, she knows that she calls Adora. She says, "Hey, you better fucking be there to catch her."
Oh yeah,
this is where I'm putting her.
And she does this by like fighting off a bunch of Horde Prime clones. And it's revealed that they've got these little like sockets in the back of their necks that connects them to like the hive mind and shit and all that sort of stuff. It turns out if you hit them in the back of their neck on that little socket thing, they go down in one punch. And I'm just sitting there thinking, who are these people? Sontarans? Jeez.
Mm-hmm. We also learned a little bit before that if they fuck up, they get tortured until they like forget everything and are okay again.
Oh yeah, they go into like a big slime bath thing that just like supposedly
electrocutes them.
It supposedly purifies them, but it doesn't look fun. It's not like a spa day.
They scream very loud.
Yeah. And so Glimmer's in space, and so Bo gets into a spacesuit that still reveals his midriff. No, Bo, you can't have a midriff revealing spacesuit. That's not practical.
It's something that they don't really go into, but I think it's covered because Entrapta also has, like, she has a little boob window in hers that also it's a little bit shiny, so I think that they both are, like, it's like glass almost. Like, they still want to show off. Those are the favorite bits they want to show off, but they have glass.
Structural weakness. You don't see NASA doing that shit. Why? Okay, I'm really sorry. Why do we need to see the astronauts' abs? Because they worked very hard on them. Anyway.
Yeah.
They grab her in the portal. It's all very interstellar gravity shit. It's very cool. And now a Glimmer is safe, but Catra very much is not. And so now they've got to make their way all the way back to Etheria, which leads us into the next episode, where they're making their way back and the ship runs out of fuel, which means they've got to land on near a planet that has like the right crystals, which are the fuel, blah, 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 blah. And they get there, but they find these guys. Are these from the original show? I don't know.
I have no idea. They sound like the Star siblings sounds like an original, like, for the original show.
Well, they're basically on the run from Horde Prime's empire, basically because their planet got blown up. Their names are Starla, Tall Star, and Jewel Star, and they're all like siblings, and they've all got like cool cyborg shit, and one of them's got a pet owl named Glory.
Oh yes, I love that owl. Interesting. I'm trying to like look into. I think that they are from previous, the previous She-Ra. Star Sister. They were the Star Sisters originally. Jewel Star, Starla, and Tall Star. And in Princess Prom, Glimmer half mentions the Star Sisters. They're at the Princess Prom. But I guess that they forgot about that they used them already, and so use them again as Star siblings.
Let's pretend that's not canon.
Yeah. I guess they're just different. They're Star Sisters and Star siblings.
Well, one of those guys are the Star siblings, so anyway.
The Star Sisters are on Eternia. The Star siblings are from space. They're different people. Oh, it's fine.
Well, that's okay then. And it's like, I mean, I like their inclusion, but maybe they're only really in the show for one episode, and they have a point to be there. But if I didn't know better, I'd swear that these guys were put in there to sell action figures.
They would be if that was a goal. But I think they show up one other time, but they don't have a voice.
No. And so they basically have to work together to get the fuel crystals. They do, and Adora appears to get a little bit of a She-Ra powers back when the cave that they're in is about to collapse. Ooh, what's going on?
And Bo and Glimmer are mad at each other.
Oh, yeah, because Bo's still not happy about Glimmer's actions in the previous season. No. They get over it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they realize that they need each other more than they need their pettiness. So.
Yeah. Honestly, most interesting relationship in this episode is the relationship between Entrapta and the ship that she's named Darla.
I love Entrapta and Darla. I love
I
Entrapta
am-
and anyone.
I am 98.6% certain that they've got a thing going on, Entrapta and Darla.
No, I don't think so. I mean, Darla is like basically like Light Hope, just like a computer.
Computers need love too.
I guess.
But far more interesting to me is now because Scorpia is part of the rebellion, and we kind of cut back to the rebellion a couple of times, and we see Scorpia and Swiftwind get on a bit because Swiftwind is missing She-Ra, and he's just like, "Can you keep a secret?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I never told anyone that Carl has a secret crush on Rogelio, whatever his name is.
Rogelio,
which is the lizard guy."
Yeah. It's like Kyle once told me that he had a crush on Rogelio. Okay.
And that's enough for me. Now ship those two together. I don't care.
I think that ship was a thing before that. But I love that the show is like, yeah, it exists.
He's a shy little twink who just wants love. He's a giant lizard man that doesn't talk. Can they make it in this crazy world?
I mean, we don't see them. We see them literally once the entire season. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I want a spin-off of Lonnie, Rogelio, and Kyle taking care of the baby Hordak.
Oh, yes, because in the final episode, skipping ahead a little bit, we see like a bunch of shots of different places on Etheria. And one of the shots is Lonnie and Kyle and Rogelio together. Rogelio is wearing like a papoose, like Baby Bjorn type thing with the little baby clone Hordak that we haven't seen for ages that's stuck in there. And yeah, like, I want to see like a Modern Family type sitcom where these characters are just living together.
Yeah, they're like, after the fall of the original Horde, they're like just traveling the world trying to keep this baby safe.
But we have to live with the
what we got.
not the stupid, but the necessary but still kind of tedious emotional baggage. But I think the writers of the show realized that. They realized a lot of people maybe didn't quite like how everyone just held so many grudges over so many things in the previous season. So now they get over it in one episode and they sort of work together.
I think that like I'm not for some things. I mean this is be something that like we talk about more towards the end of, but like Scorpia I think deserved a lot more anger at Catra, and they don't interact until like the end of the season. But Scorpia should be allowed to say, "I still don't want to be your friend," and we don't get that moment.
Yeah, well, there's only so many episodes, but I'm going to get into that later. Next episode, episode 5, is called Save the Cat. I see what you did there. Yeah, I see what you did there, Noelle. Well, very well done.
Didn't we skipped over the whole Peekaboo stuff?
Did we?
Because because we were talking about Scorpia being able to hide to keep a secret, and that was because they were going undercover.
Oh.
We totally skipped that episode. They go undercover to find this prince named Peekaboo. It's like Mermista, Seahawk, Perfuma, and Scorpia. And Perfuma and Scorpia...
No, that's later. That's later.
No,
I've checked. That's later. That's episode 7. We're only on episode 5.
Okay.
Because it's called The Perils of Peekaboo. I have it up in front of me. I know what I'm talking about.
Then we just brought up Scorpia talking about secrets earlier than it happened, and that's what confused me.
No, I think she was talking with Swiftwind.
Okay, whatever. I hate Swiftwind still.
Yeah, I know why. I like his character, kind of. Like, out of all the characters that I like, which is all the characters, he's the one I like the least.
Yeah, I've never enjoyed his presence.
Fair enough, okay. Screw you, magical unicorn winged bastion of hope, light, and truth. You're not good enough for me.
He would be cool if they actually cast like someone who fit that like voice. It like that voice just doesn't fit. It's just a dude. It's just like a normal ass voice, and I still hate it. And like I get that was the joke for season 1, but it's not funny anymore, and it's just bad.
And like, so here's the thing. I think that's a sort of a tongue-in-cheek reference to the original series where Swiftwind was just like, "Oh my God, She-Ra, we gotta save them." It was really, really weird. But I mean, so who would you cast as Swiftwind for the voice?
I don't know. Like I would not have just like a normal like. I would at least like have the voice affected somehow. It's just a dude talking, and it just doesn't fit with anything else. Like no one just sounds like their characters all the time in the cast. AJ Mashaka doesn't just sound like Catra all the time. Like there's a little bit of Catra in there, but like Adam Gray just doesn't change his voice. It's just his voice, and it's boring.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like if I just went, "Hi, I'm Swiftwind. I'm a magical talking horse. Friendship is magic." Yeah. Would you believe that? No.
It's just boring.
Yeah. But back onto the episode Save the Cat. Adora's team, basically now they've refueled, they want to go and get Catra. So Adora goes to Horde Prime's flagship and she surrenders herself, but like pretendingly, while Glimmer, Bow, and Traptor try to find Catra. They don't find Catra. What they do find is a big like room full of Horde Prime clones. Well, one that's connected. And they disconnect him from the hive mind accidentally. And this gives us the most adorable character in possibly the entire show.
Mm-hmm. Keston has so much fucking fun with this character. Like, he has so much fun this season, like, because all of the different hordes, but like, Wrong Hordak is so good.
I'm not connected to the hive mind anymore. How will Horde Prime know my thoughts? And you think he's going to get angry? You think he's going to lash out? He just starts crying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh no! Oh, we hurt the code's feelings. No.
He's so funny.
He's so cute. But here's the thing. And they say, "Oh, we're working for Horde Prime. You want to help us?" He's like, "For Horde Prime? Anything." And it's just funny. It's funny. It never stops being funny. Yeah. And so that's going on with Traptor and the rest of them. But Adora basically comes face to face with Horde Prime and says, "Oi, I want Catra back." And he's like, "Oh, well, here she is." And because like her eyes are glowing green, and he cut her hair.
They cut her hair.
Why did they cut her hair? I don't understand. But they got rid of like the little Catra forehead thing, which I never was a big fan of. But anyway, and now she doesn't say, "Hey, Adora." She says, "Hello, Adora," and that's the creepiest fucking thing she's ever said.
It hurts. It hurts so bad because like something that I appreciate is that they like Catra's full on ready to die for Glimmer, which is something that like she would not have done season 1. And she's like, she thinks that she's gonna die, and she's like, "All right, cool. This is where I'm at. I did my good thing, and now I'm gonna die. I have redeemed myself." And she doesn't even get that. Like they don't even let her die. They fucking brainwash her, which is horrifying.
And there's a whole big fight between her and Adora, and it's creepy as shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then Glimmer managed to destroy the ship's main computer, and so Catra starts to fight against the ship. Prime hurts her. Adora is not happy about that, and she becomes She-Ra again, but with a different sword and a different outfit that, in popular opinion, I think looks better.
I don't think that's unpopular. I think that's the point.
Bro? Oh, okay then. Cool. Popular opinion. It looks better. Like, I never didn't like the other She-Ra, not the original, obviously, but the other She-Ra outfit. But this looks a lot better. Like, she's still got the skirt thing, but it's like open at the front, and she's now got trousers and stuff, and the big tiara thing's a bit more functional, and she's still got like the hair poof thing.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's like, it's much more, this is Adora. This isn't just She-Ra. This isn't just some like manifestation of this ancient, magic.
it's not
Adora.
Mara even.
Yeah, it's not Mara. It's Adora gets to be She-Ra instead of She-Ra becomes Adora. Like that.
And and she fights off all Prime, gets Catra. Catra appears to be dead, but she manages to use healing powers to save her. And when she does so, Catra says, "Hey, Adora."
It's so good.
God, they manage to get back to the ship. They manage to escape. But then one of the Horde Prime clones finds one of Attraptor's gadgets left behind, a little bit of like First One Tech or something. And it turns out that clone is Hordak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he picks it up and he's like, Entrapta, shit.
Do I ship him and Entrapta, or do I ship Darla and Entrapta?
No. That's another thing that I fucking hate. Hordak Hordak fucking gets redeemed by doing nothing. He does nothing.
We'll get to that. Calm your rage for the moment. Next episode, episode 6, Adora tries to basically mend some bridges with Catra, just like, hey, so we've been for a lot, but hey, let's be in the same time. But because Catra is and always has been insecure, lashing out type person, she gets all insecure and lashes out. All while Entrapta is trying to disconnect that chip from the back of her head, so, A, she doesn't get mind controlled again, and B, so Horde can't track them. Oh, the Horde is tracking them. Whoopsies. And so they try to hide in an asteroid field. That doesn't work. But in like the final moments before she gets it off, Catra uses the link between Horde Prime and herself through the chip to discover some things going on with Etheria. Whilst they've been doing that, Micah, Swiftwind, Froster, Netossa, and Spillerella get a distress call from this village. They go there, and they find that everyone's just acting just a wee bit creepy. Little bit Village of the Damned. But some of them don't cotton onto that quite so quickly. I'd have been out of there in 5 minutes, but that's just me. And they discover eventually that they're under the control of the Horde. Oh, God, they've all got chips on them. Oh, this is what it's going to be now from now on, isn't it?
Yeah, it's creepy. This is how it is.
Oh, and they managed to escape thanks to Swiftwind and his connection with She-Ra. And that's what Catra warns, Adora about, and he discovers that's the plan and everything. And Entrapta removes the chip, everything seems fine. And Entrapta gets let off a little bit too easy between, her and Bo and Glimmer and stuff, but, I don't care. I guess it's kind of earned, not as earned as it could be, but enough earned.
Mm-hmm.
And, however, later on, we discover that one of the rebellion has been fitted with a mind-control chip, Spinnerella.
Yes, Noelle. Noelle gets to be evil.
Oh, I want to get into that so much, but also I want to point out at this point, that she transformed to She-Ra at some point in the episode. I can't quite remember when, but it's a new transformation sequence. It's a new Magic Girl transformation, and I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love it. Yeah, it's a good evolution of the transformation.
And then we get to season 7. This is the Peekaboo episode, but it behooves me to point out at this point that throughout the season, they've been sort of switching up the intros. Like some of the intro animation changes based on the events that's happening in the show. And I think that's been number 4, but not quite as many times in one season.
I think in season 1, Entrapta switched sides, but
Yeah.
I think that's the extent of what I can remember. But this one changes a lot. Like they as people get picked off for the Horde, they get added to the Horde side and removed from the from the hero side, and Catra is no longer on the Horde side, and in that little like clashing thing, she like it's like her and Adora sparring, and they're like smiling at each other, and then Catra's like sitting with the heroes.
And I nearly missed this because I was watching this on Netflix, obviously, and I kept on skipping intro.
I never skip the fucking intro for She-Ra. You never skip the intro for She-Ra.
Sometimes I jump into it every now and then, but I'm glad I nearly missed it, but I didn't, thankfully. That's not the most interesting about this episode. This is the Perils of Peekaboo, where Mr. Seahawk, Scorpia, and Perfumer go to like an underwater nightclub for like criminals, and they get all dressed up and they look fierce.
Yeah. I love like Mermista and Perfume. Like we've seen Scorpia in this dress before, but Mermista and Perfuma, holy shit.
I love Perfuma's hat.
Yeah, they both look so good. Like, so crazy good. Like, Mermista single-handedly made Fedora's okay again.
She undid what a generation of neckbeards tried to destroy.
Yeah.
And I'm still not over the hat. Goddamn, Perfuma. She looks like Carmen Sandiego.
It's a good hat. She does. She's green Carmen Sandiego.
I nearly called her Santiago. I watched too much Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Anyway, as they go to this club because they want to get Prince Peekaboo on their side. He's apparently this like hermit guy who goes to nightclubs, I don't know. But he's also got the power of farsight, clairvoyance for you and me, whereby he can see things from, very far away, like psychically or something. I don't know. Very useful for finding Adora and the ship, knowing how far away they are. It's good to have in there. Thing. And then they go to the party and they try and mingle. Mr. and Seahawk are waylaid because half the people in the club have grudges against Seahawk because he kept burning their ships. And they're just constantly knocking people out and tying them up. And it's the funniest shit I've seen in ages.
It's from forever ago on her Twitter. It's like right after the season came out. But Noelle, apparently last year, during like the hype for season 4, she someone asked like season 4 but wrong answers only, and she made a whole list, and one of them, like all of the list was just things that happened in this season but sounded outlandish, and one of them said like you meet Seahawk's ex. So these are all Seahawk's exes according to Noelle.
I think that could have made a bit clearer in the episode, but it's nice to think about. Although we do get one person who is angry at Mermista because she burnt his boat because, according to her, she just wanted to see what it felt like. It's so funny. Oh, God, the dog got scared. I laughed so hard.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. So that's what she's doing. Meanwhile, Scorpio is trying to blend in with her undercover alias, but isn't doing very well. Perfumer is doing very well, surprisingly. I've always seen her as more of a wallflower. Oh! Anyway. And so... Scorpio accidentally ends up on stage, and she sings, and it's wonderful.
Yeah. And I appreciate that she's not, like, the best singer in the world. Like if they did the cliche of like she likes to sing but she doesn't really, and then she goes up and she's like the fucking Broadway ass singer, best singer in the world, I would have been like, okay, that's kind of played out. But she's just like, she sounds like a normal person singing and having fun with it, and it makes me very happy.
And so they all go backstage and try and uncover Prince Peekaboo, but it turns out to be, oh yay, it's Double Trouble!
Yes! I was like, this person, it, like, literally, as we were looking at Peekaboo, I was like, I miss Double Trouble. I wonder what they're doing.
I wasn't at this moment. I wasn't at this moment, but like the episode previous, I was someone like, are we going to get Double Trouble this season? I hope we do. And then there they are, and they're just as fabulous as always.
They're great.
And they basically tell them, okay, look, I was just playing Prince Peekaboo, for funsies. I tried just playing as one of the Horde soldier things, but that was not fun at all, So now I'm doing this, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
No, you do know what's going on. Yes, okay, I do know what's going on. Everyone's mind controlled. Everyone's getting half the people here are under mind control. Not getting me because I'm motherfucking double trouble, but everyone else is under mind control, including you, Mister. Wait, what? Oh shit, Mister got mind controlled. When did that happen?
Yeah, I think that happened while they were outside, because they went in without Mermista because she wasn't there for that whole scene.
That's a good point. And so then, because Mermista can control water, and they're in a club that's underwater, she and a bunch of the other guests that are mind controlled start attacking them. It's a whole thing. And Scorpia has to stay behind to cover their retreat. And I'm just sitting there thinking, okay, yeah, very brave, very noble. And I get that you don't want the mind control people to die, but do you ever think that maybe you might be too valuable to get mind control because you've got, lightning powers? Do you think that's Scorpia? No? Okay.
Yeah, but Scorpio's very good. Scorpio deserves the world.
Yeah, I still love Scorpia. And I also quite like Spinnerella, but it turns out, whilst they were off doing that mission, she was chipping a bunch of other rebels, including Micah, and Natossa starts. Is there Natossa starts to realize this?
I think it's slowly throughout that episode because it's their anniversary and she's like, oh shit, she's mad at me because I don't know our anniversary, and she goes to apologize to her and she calls her beloved. And she's like, that's weird. That's not something that you call me.
You usually call me Honey Bun. What's going on here? But episode 8, they're flying back to Etheria, and they're talking to Ron Hordak about any potential weaknesses that Horde Prime might have, and he's like, no, Horde Prime has absolutely no weaknesses, especially not on this specific planet that contains its actual weakness. Oh, I've said too much. I'm condensing the conversation here, but basically there's a planet called Krytis. And I was really hoping at this point that was going to be there's a planet called Eternia. Nope, it's a planet called Krytis. What's on there that's so deadly to Horde Prime? A cat creature that can do illusions. Cool. Yeah.
Well, it's magic. He doesn't understand magic, so it's
the real takeaway is Horde Prime has a weakness, and it is magic.
Right.
Feel like there's other ways you could accomplish that. Go to Eternia, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, and the main takeaway is 2 things. Well, 3 things. 1, Horde Prime is not good with magic. 2, Catra's now got an illusion, like a blink cat. I don't know.
Yeah, essentially.
Displacer cat or something. Buddy companion. And 3, Catra has a spacesuit with cat ears.
That's very cute. And Trapta made these space suits, and they're great.
They're so good. And everyone keeps on pointing out how cute Catra is. And at first it's kind of funny, but then it's just okay, guys, you've been a little patronizing right about now. It's she's cute, but she's a person. Stop infantilizing her,
Mm-hmm.
And one other major point that they find out is that Ron Hordak gets he basically gets a huge identity crisis over who he is, over the fact that Horde Prime now has this actual flaw, and it basically unravels his loyalty to him, meaning that calling him to say that he's a false god that needs to be cast down. And I'm just holy shit, that's all it took.
Yeah, he, his entire life was Hordak's all powerful. The second there's a chip in that, or Horde Prime, god damn it, Horde Prime's all powerful. The second there's a chip in that, it's okay, well then what else is false?
But then the
entire world. It's telling a Christian, it's giving a Christian undeniable proof that God doesn't exist. It's like it is devastating to someone like that.
I mean, as someone who, when he was living in Edinburgh, frequently encountered very, very friendly Mormon missionaries who asked me to talk about, my relationship with God, and I humbly informed them the many, many, many reasons why that sort of stuff is not really my cup of tea. I took great pleasure and pride in watching their faces slowly crumble in defeat. So it can be a very big thing for people.
Oh, yeah.
And so after that, episode 9, they managed to get back to Etheria. Yay! And they take in the sights just for a second until they encounter a village that's been occupied by the Horde, rather. And it's mainly populated by mushroom people. I'm not kidding. There's mushroom people now.
Myconids.
Myconids. Too. It's like, there is so much sentient biodiversity on Etheria. I'm not complaining, I'm just pointing it out. Like, there's mushroom people. The fungi can talk and think and have families and homes and shit. Why not?
Yep.
So, like, if you eat a mushroom, is it like a human being eating a chimp? I don't...
Who knows? It's hard to pin that down. Is Mermisto okay with eating fish? Like...
That's a very good point. Jeez. Juggling all the fish just hang around Atlantis glaring at Aquaman, just like, dude, not cool. But anyway, but while they're there, they try and get some information about what's going on there. Wrong Hordak ingratiates himself with the local Horde clones, but they're suddenly attacked by Spinnerella. And, we made a little bit of fun out of Spinnerella. Ooh, she spins. And Natossa. Ooh, she tosses nets. But this season makes both of these characters look so badass.
Yeah, I mean, they also, have much bigger roles this season, but we underestimated the hell out of them. They're fucking crazy powerful.
Yeah, because in last episode, Natossa discovered for sure that the basically entire rebellion had been chipped. She managed to get away. And then she's been attacking Spinnerella, basically trying to save her, but also making sure that she doesn't do too much damage. Mm-hmm. And, oh god. They, unfortunately, Spinnerella gets away. Natossa briefs them all on what's going on. And Horde Prime's just like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to sort this shit out myself. All while Hordak is... not very happy about things. He's going to be like, ooh, identity. And, oh, God. So then, when they finally rejoin with the rebellion, Frosted pops up and fucking decks Catra.
In the face. It's like out of nowhere, just almost jaw-breaking. It's so good. The reaction that everyone has to Catra when they first see her is so funny.
It's understandable as well, but it's just...
absolutely.
Catra's just like, what was that for? Oh, yeah, all that stuff I did. Oh, and by the way, I want to point out at this point that when Catra first got mind controlled and got a new haircut, it was all slicked back. I don't know. But now it's like a messy pixie cut, and it's so delightfully gay.
Oh, yeah, it's very gay and very cute.
I think it looks better than a previous haircut, but that's just me. And so... Adora rejoins the remaining companions, the remaining rebels rather, in episode 10, and basically Natossa has gone full Batman, detailing the weaknesses of all the rebellion members.
I love her little flashcards she has for Spinnerella that are drawn by Noelle. It's very obviously Noelle's art style, and she's like, we gotta kick her in the ankle, and then I'll wrap her up, and I'll take the chip off, and then she'll love me again, and then I'll remind her that I saved her every time I have to clean.
It's so cute, because it's cute and it's funny, but also it's a reminder that this is her wife, the person she loves most in the entire world.
She does explicitly say wife, and I know I had the theory last season when they were doing the bringing people in or teleporting people in or something last season. Mermista Natossa and Spinnerella both were holding flowers, and I think that was their wedding. And you said no, I want their wedding to be on screen. But I think that was their wedding or a date night, because they are explicitly wives this season.
And it's awesome and it's funny. And so, yeah, they basically realize, okay, we've got to find Scorpio in the Fright Zone. Meanwhile, Bo and Glimmer set out to find Bo's dads. And they eventually find the home, but it's like all broken into and stuff. And he finds a note with a fucking pun in it.
Yeah.
It's like, what did the first one say when they overcooked dinner? It's in ruins. Oh, I know where they are.
Yeah, it's like, I don't speak, Dad. Like, was like, no, I know.
Let's not forget, at this point, Micah has been very, very, very excited to meet Glimmer, probably for the first time. Actually for the first time.
She says that she was really young when he died. Quote unquote died.
Supposedly died. And so then he's like, oh, I want to get, can't wait to see her. And he tries to sort of, I don't know, it feels a bit weird. It feels a bit manipulative to me when he starts acting similarly to Froster. And it's all because he wants to kind of practice for when Glimmer gets here. I'm not sure. I'm sure that wasn't his intention, but that's how it comes across. And it's like, don't play father with Froster just because you're insecure about your own parenting techniques. Yeah. Don't do that. But anyway,
he's trying to do a practice run.
Yeah.
With Frosta, and Frosta's like, I'm not I am younger than everyone else, but I'm also a princess. You need to back the fuck up.
You nearly said queen there, didn't you?
I mean, she is kind of she doesn't I don't think they crown her, but she's pretty much a queen. She's the only one we see ruling her kingdom. Same with Perfuma and Mermista.
Yeah. But unfortunately, he gets chipped. So now Glimmer's just like, no, I nearly met my dad, but now I can't because it's all mind controlled and shit. So it's interesting to see that perspective from her, as well as, Bo reuniting with his dads, who are still fucking adorable.
Yeah, they're great.
And they've been excavating the first one ruin, and they discover a message from a big hologram similar to Bright Hope, which discover a message from a companion of Mara. It turns out Mara had friends. And reveals the existence of a sort of a backup for the Heart of Etheria, failsafe, they call it, that can deactivate it. Ooh, this could be useful. Meanwhile, all that's going on, Medora, Catra, Perfuma, Natossa, and the Invisicat thing, which they now use in every single fight because it can turn them invisible.
Yeah, fair enough. God, what was the cat's name? Something with an M.
I'm looking down. Milog. It was Milog.
Milog. Okay, yeah.
I don't know if that was from the original season.
Especially Catra uses Milog a lot.
Again, a cat riding a cat is like if I rode an orangutan. Is that okay? Is that allowed? I don't know. But anyway. And so they go into the Fright Zone, but they are ambushed by Spinner and Mermista, and now definitely mind-controlled Scorpia. Oh god!
There is a Milog on the GRAYSKULL wiki, but it's it is a person that's basically Clayface, except can also absorb strength from other people.
The 80s were weird.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Milog the cat. Also, Milog is apparently supposed because Milog is Golem backwards, so and they're a clay person.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Real creative.
This may have gone slightly over the heads of Noelle and whoever's making this show, or maybe
they just did not. Yeah, they wanted to include the name Milog as a side, but did not want to actually do Milog. Milog is a shapeshifter though. The cat can shapeshift. So
that's why it's more illusions, but yeah.
Yeah.
So rebels are fighting against all the mind control people in the Fright Zone. It's going great, and someone says, I can't remember who, I think was it Natossa or something. Someone just said, "We don't throw tanks at our friends."
I don't remember who that was either.
But it's one of those Ghostbuster lines that's just so quotable,
Mm-hmm.
I could see that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And if I for a bit, Natasha managed to get Spinnerella out of the mind control by basically doing what she said in the whole weakness rant at the beginning, getting her ankle, getting her in a net and stuff, and disabling the chip. Unfortunately, Adora and Perfuma are captured by Hall Prime, and turns out Hall Prime has decided, screw you, She-Ra, don't need you anymore, I found a way to bypass you and get right to the heart of Etheria. And he's like, Scorpia, don't need them anymore, zap them. Scorpia tries to resist though, it's pretty awesome, and it's revealed that, even this episode and the next episode, that the longer the chip is on you, the more integrated it becomes with your body, and eventually becomes the point where it can't be removed. And I really love that, because it adds a sort of ticking clock element, because everyone's been talking, once we've discovered this revelation that people have been chipped, about removing the chips. And it seems like, oh, well, we can just do that whenever. Obviously, we want to do it sooner rather than later, but, there's no big rush. Oh, no, there is a rush, because if you take too long, you'll never undo it. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to, get this done.
And...
they also need to get things done because he can get the Heart of Eternity up and running. So...
Well, but it's now there's two things we've got to think about. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so Glimmer managed to teleport in and get them all out. Oh, and there's something we forgot to mention. She didn't have a teleporting powers in space.
Oh yeah, because she wasn't close to Bright Moon. She needs to be able to be near Bright Moon to get that power from the crystal.
She's very happy to get those powers back when she does. And that leads us on into episode 11, where they get the chip off Spinnerella. It's all great. But at this point, actually, previous episode, Shadowweave and Castaspella, one of the few people who haven't been chipped, basically went on a little side journey together, talking about shit and revealing that, actually, the first ones did a lot of damage to Etheria by sort of trapping the magic within the technology. There's still a lot of magic around, and if they, unleash the magic, that will completely and utterly drive off Hall Prime, because can't do magic. And then this episode they reveal that the failsafe for the heart they've been looking for is hidden in Mysticor, the place where Castaspella is from, the big floating place, right?
Yeah, I think.
And so Castaspella, Shadow Weaver, Bo, Glimmer, Adora, and Catra go to Mysticor to get the failsafe, but it's got to be taken or used by someone who's really strong, otherwise they'll die. Gee, I wonder who that could be. Well, that's the thing, you see, because since transforming into She-Ra, Adora's had trouble transforming into She-Ra, and Shadow Weaver was like, oh, it's because of Catra. She's distracting you with emotions and stuff. You need to turn away from her. And she's like, do you really think people are going to believe you at this point?
Yeah, everyone just does not give a single shit to what Shadow Weaver has to say.
But I actually kind of like that, though. Actually, I was a bit snarky before, but I felt like that because she's still clinging to that, because that's all she knows how to do. She can only manipulate people. She can't just talk to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she really just doesn't have another setting. It is attacking people, or it is 100% manipulation to get what she wants,
and Catra overhears, has a bit of a hissy over it. Same old. And they get to the failsafe thing, and it turns out that Micah is there also, and he's doing bad things, doing dark magic. Oh shit, Micah! No, don't do that.
Yeah, and that's scary. That's so sad, because Micah works so hard to not have to do that.
Oh no, God! And it's a big thing because he's confronting his sister and his daughter, meeting her properly for the first time. It's a huge deal, and now he's attacking her. It's oh God, emotions. But Adora obviously gets into the thing, the big magic glowing thing, whatever, gets the failsafe, becomes She-Ra, yada, 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 yada. Takes out the bad guys, including Micah, very easily. I'd say even She-Ra's a bit too OP in this season, but maybe that's just me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she's gotta be at this point. Like, you need world-ending stuff.
Yeah, but like one swing of a sword and she like managed to magically bind all the bad guys. Just like, okay, cool, but like feeling this fight could be over pretty quickly just using those powers. But then again, the powers aren't exactly reliable at this point, so maybe it all balances out. They've got the failsafe now. It's a big glowing like symbol thing on her chest. They leave, and Catra is just like, you know what? I am sick of Adora trying to sacrifice herself to save everyone because, as she says, it's just like, ooh, because. Oh god, there's so many emotions. Catra goes into so many reasons why she's just sick of it.
I feel like her heart's in the right place with like Adora shouldn't like she should be able to live for herself. She shouldn't have to just live to sacrifice herself constantly for everyone. Which I understand, like that's like you're looking out for your friend there, like that is something that definitely she should be able to take care of herself. But she also does make it about her. She's like, you're always going to choose sacrificing yourself over hanging out with me. And I'm like, Catra, god damn it, you're so close. You're like right there.
But she's. There's a lot of emotions, but she eventually, this culminates in her leaving with, what's his face, Milog. And, it's a lot of feelings. Meanwhile, Entrapta is trying to disable Whole Prime's hive mind thingummy so that she can disrupt the control chips before the permanent fuse. And in doing so, she accidentally stumbles into Hordak, who's just like, why do I know you? Oh, I'm getting feelings. Oh, it's interesting, is what I'll say it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's like, it was something that like I was worried about when they started it a few seasons ago, and it just kind of, they don't go anywhere satisfying with it, and it bugs me. I think they should have just dropped entirely. I think they should have just like let it be that Hordak died. Like, fuck it, whatever. Hordak died when he was reassimilated.
They just they have to keep kind of reminding us that he exists, and it doesn't help that he now looks like every single one of the clones. Mm-hmm. So this leads us into the last two episodes, which is called a two-parter, but let's be honest, they didn't necessarily have to be. I think they could have worked just without calling them a two-parter, but anyway. The rebels are basically preparing like, okay, this is it. This is our Death Star run against Whole Prime. And so all the princesses and all the rebellions that haven't been, mind-chipped are going to create a distraction so that Entrapta can destroy the hive mind network, all while Adora, Glimmer, and Bo, best friend squad, go down to the heart of Etheria. And in doing so, they encounter like basically the same shit we've seen before with like memory illusion shit. And it makes Adora realize, okay, I need to leave my friends behind to save everyone because I've got a martyr complex, or at least I believe I have a martyr complex. And it's we've seen this before, you know?
I guess. I don't know. Like that, like this is I think something that Adora has dealt with every season and hasn't fully gotten over because other people have stepped in to do it for her. Every time she hasn't had to make the choice yet to not do it. She's always been like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and then someone else is like, no, I got this. Like it happened with Angela. And I think last season like someone else, it was like the sword like stepped in for her, Mara stepped in for her. So it really just like she doesn't get to make the choice to not sacrifice herself. She constantly wants to do it, and this season she actually has to make the choice whether or not she's going to do that.
And it isn't helped by the fact that Whole Prime starts tapping into the heart, which is very bad for Adora and She-Ra. It starts to mess her up big time. And he also manages to teleport Entrapta aboard the flagship. Shit's going down. It's all going bad. Catra is like off doing her own thing, but then starts getting worried about Adora. And so she teams up with Shadow Weaver to go and get Adora, while Bo, Glimmer, and Milog go out to rescue everyone else. And it's again, we made the Star Wars joke earlier, but it is very much similar to the multiple locales, the multiple different confrontations. But it really works, you know?
Oh yeah, I love this. I don't need everyone together for this to work. It's very good.
And while that's all going on, Adora sees a hologram image of Mara. Last time we see Mara, and it's just
Mara says the same thing. So she says, like, I sacrificed myself so you don't have to. Fucking stop. Live for yourself.
But then Horde Prime pops and says, hey, Adora, gonna destroy everything you know and love. By the way, he's a giant shagoff.
Here's a worm thing that can poison you.
Oh god, it's all like a shambling mound.
Yeah.
We recently did like a D&D thing together with a bunch of other people, and the enemy that Alex gave us was a giant shambling mound. It nearly ate one of us.
You would have been fine. It's that boss. It's a level 2 boss. Like, it's a boss for people that haven't even hit 3 yet, and y'all were all 3. You would have been fine.
But you know, it wasn't fine. Adora, she ends up getting rescued by Catra and Shadow Weaver. And Shadow Weaver just tries to hold off the monster using her magic, and it's not going well. And she sacrifices herself.
Well, first Catra is like, "I'm gonna handle this. Go," and then Shadow Weaver takes Adora to the heart, and then like Adora's like, "Fuck, we need to go back for Catra," and Shadow Weaver realizes she's not gonna do this if Catra's not safe, and so she goes to sacrifice herself.
Yeah, it's
which is pretty good. I think this is a great end for Shadow Weaver, choosing to sacrifice herself for Catra of all people.
It's because she's had an interesting relationship with Adora, but the real back and forth interesting relationship has been her and Catra. And to see it culminate to this with her removing her mask so we see her face for like a second.
Yeah, and choosing, because you see her wanting to get the heart for herself. She's like, oh fuck, that's a lot of power. And then she sees Adora hurting, and she's like, I can't do this right now. And then Catra says the same thing that Glimmer said to her, like, do this one good thing, do the only good thing you've ever done in your life.
Oh god, yeah. And that's sad. But then we cut to Bo fighting Scorpia and Glimmer fighting Micah. It's all very epic. And then, oh my god, so Glimmer's facing off against Micah, her dad, and it's really intense and really emotional.
We missed Seahawk and Mermista fighting. That was good.
I think that happens a bit later, but yeah, that's...
No, it happens before everything, because Micah, like, pulls everyone out of the fight. Like, it's just Glimmer versus Micah, because everyone else is, like, stuck to the ground.
So Mermista is like targeting Seahawk, and he's just like hiding behind rocks and shit, and it's kind of funny.
He's like singing, and he's trying to sing. She's like, "Why are you like this?" And he's like, "Because I love you." And I'm like, "Oh
no!" Oh, my feelings.
Like, I like Seahawk, but that got me.
Because you never expect him to be that sincere.
Yeah,
that genuine, and then
especially
he just hits you with it.
That totally throws her off. That totally is like, and then she gets her ass beat.
Well, he's in this plus. It's a very good distraction. Boom, she's down by someone else. Because to be honest, Seahawk's not that big of a fighter, even though he's got like a laser rapier, but he's very good at distracting people.
Yeah, he's literally a lover, not a fighter.
Oh god, and then we get the big fight between Glimmer and Micah. And it ends with Glimmer fucking Kamehameha-ing Micah.
That
like full Hadouken.
Anime shit ever. Like, she sees Angela and she's like, I'm not gonna lose another parent. And then she's like the most anime ass looking shit in this entire series.
Kamehameha. It's awesome.
It's great.
And Bo manages to shut down the mind control network, and he projects his image to everyone. And you'd think it would be She-Ra or Adora or maybe even Glimmer, but no, it's Bo that rallies the people of Etheria and the greater Horde Empire to the cause. And I really like that.
As he deserves.
Very much so. We get those flashes that we mentioned earlier of all the different characters. We see Lonnie, Khan, Rahelia. We also see Huntara for like a second. Cool. I was wondering if she would pop up.
Yeah, I wish that she was actually in the fight and we got Gina Davis, but I get why we did it. That's too much going on.
Yeah. And just like, for Etheria! Rah! And it's fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. And then Hordak basically regains control of himself. And because Entrapped is in danger, and I love it. I don't care if you don't like it. I love it. And he turns against Horde Prime, and basically like fucking Spartan kicks him off a ledge. And it's just like, yay, Horde Prime's dead. Oh, no, he can mind control people. He possesses people, and he's possessed Hordak. Shit. Oh, no.
Yeah.
And he's basically like, you know what? I am done with all y'alls. I'm gonna blow the planet up.
Including me. Yeah, he's like, you're up. Like, I'm going down with this fucking ship. I'm taking you all with me.
Oh, God. And at this point, Adora's like, what's Adora doing at this point? She's like with the heart of Etheria.
Like she's trying to like take the heart of Etheria, but she can't because of how hurt she is, and she passes out.
And then Catra starts pleading with her to get up, both in reality and also in Adora's mind.
They're like future fantasy where like Bo and Glimmer are together, I guess, which I didn't think about happening. That wasn't a thing that was on my radar. And then like Catra has her long hair again. Like
they're like adults now. It's like, oh, and then All Promise is like, oh, a beautiful dream. Shame you're about to die. And then Catra's just like, no, don't fight it. You can fight it because I love you. She said it.
Mm-hmm. And Adora wakes up. And she says it too.
And they kiss.
And they kiss.
Oh, it was so awesome. It would have been slightly more awesome if that one particular bit wasn't spoiled for me.
Oh yeah, that I was so mad at Mark when I heard about that. When I not only that he put it in Slack, but he also fucking messaged it to you. Like,
yeah,
personally.
So you know, Capers, my friend Mark Russell's been on the show many times. Great guy, really great guy. I don't know what possessed him to spoil it, because I mean, I've been kind of busy the last few days because I've got a brand new job, which is great for me because of COVID lockdown and everything. I'm very lucky to get that job. So I haven't been able to. It's only been the last few days that I've been able to. Catch up with She-Ra and everything in preparation for this episode, and Mark, I'm sure unintentionally, but very much definitely, spoiled this for me by messaging me and putting on the Place to Hang Your Cape Slack channel, Catdora Forever, or something like to that effect.
That's exactly what it was, and I'm so pissed. Like, I was like, no, I got it spoiled for me because it like Twitter exploded the day it came out. Just like absolutely nonstop crazy. Because another thing happened that day on another TV show that I watched, but I want you to watch Harley Quinn. I don't want you to get spoiled.
Yeah. I am actually getting quite into Harley Quinn right now. I mean,
it's very good. It's surprisingly good. I didn't think it was that good, and it got better.
Yeah, the last few episodes I've watched, I'm still on season 1, has definitely gotten better, but I'm catching up. But we'll leave that. So the point is, Mark, we're still friends. I still like you. Don't worry about that. But I will never forgive you for this one small thing.
Yeah, I was so mad. I was so goddamn mad. I was like, no, you can't. You can't do that.
And it's just, I don't know. I think part of me expected that sort of thing maybe could happen, or maybe not. But either way, I got semi-confirmation about it, and I was not happy. But it's, you know what? In fairness, to this show, the emotions are so high, and the relationship feels so real that it didn't really lose any of its impact.
Yeah, I was like, I had seen the picture of it. I had like, that's how much spoiler I got for it, and I was like, Yes!
And it's awesome. I mean, part of me after Catra, wrong show. After Catra went like full on bad side, I was kind of I started off really wanting them to get together, but then I kind of went against that when she started doing some really horrible shit. And but at this point, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. They both deserve to be happy, and they love each other. They both deserve to be together, and they're not just friends.
No, they're
Not
not.
just friends.
Yeah, and Noelle is explicit. God, thank you for Noelle.
Noelle, assume all my characters are gay unless I say otherwise. Stevenson is a legend.
Which is good. It's I'm so happy. Like this is worth, I think, worth the buildup of it. And like I get like some people are still upset that Catra doesn't seem like she gets retribution for all the shit that she's done. And that's kind of where my issue comes in with her and Scorpia, because I think that they could have handled that really well with her still losing Scorpia as a friend. Like she still deserves, all this. Like she doesn't deserve to get all of her friends back. She still did horrible things.
Like Scorpia's still friends with Adora and all the rest of them, but she's like, you know what? I'm never gonna get on with Catra now. Like, and that's okay. We don't have to like each other.
I wish that was the case, but they didn't do that in the show.
Nah. But what does happen is She-Ra brings down the heart, bringing magic to Etheria, which basically gives them like grass and shit. But it looks really pretty. And this means Hor Prime is gone from Hordak's body. And we see like a brief image of him like holding baby Adora, like a flashback. And then he's back to the prison like, I know you. And then Chapter like hugs him or something. And that's the last we see of Hordak.
He gets like, it's like, I don't know, his storyline feels to me like someone saying, well, if Hitler only had a friend, he would help us defeat Thanos. And it's like, what? Like, he's still a fucking dictator.
That is a very good analogy, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, Hordak's fucking terrible.
He did objectively bad things. He tried to conquer the whole planet. Like, yeah. Oh, God. But we do get to see Raz one last time, reminiscing about Mara and how the magic's everywhere. That's really nice. And everyone just sort of like chills out of it, just relaxed, like, oh, is it finally over? Thank goodness. Oh, everything looks so nice and pretty and green. And now Etheria, I guess, is liberated because like, the Fright Zone is like covered with moss and shit. Adora, Bo, and Glimmer just like, yay, we won! And Catra, let's band together and restore all magic to the universe in a season 6 that we're not getting.
I don't think that was a season 6 tease. That's not a. That is a.
No.
But Noelle is very clear that this was her intended end for the show. Like this.
Great. Okay. Great. Fine. But I have nagging issues. First and foremost, what you brought up, the whole Scorpia thing, the whole retribution thing for Hordak, that could be explored in another season. But we're not getting that. Me personally, I really want more explanation or exploration of where Adora came from, i.e., Eternia, Grayskull, names that have been brought up a lot, almost every single episode of every single season that we haven't got an explanation for. And I know where that comes from, and you know where that comes from, but a lot of people who are seeing She-Ra as in terms of like the He-Man mythos for the first time, they're not going to know, and they're still going to want to know, and maybe they don't want to look at a wiki. Maybe they want to get it in the story, and I feel like, but here's the problem with that. They could do a season 6 with all that explained, all the fallout, all that sort of stuff. They could do that, but the problem is, the big bad of the entire story is defeated. This was the climax. There really was.
I think it would have been. It's like one of those things. It would be nice, but I am okay with where we're at. I am okay with closing the story here. We don't need all the questions answered, I don't think.
Maybe not. I mean, I'm okay with ending the story here, but I don't feel completely satisfied. I feel okay, but I don't feel satisfied. I feel like, here's an idea, just a pitch, and this might not necessarily be better. It's just a what if. What if the season ends with Hall Prime effectively conquering most, if not all, of Etheria, mind control chip, Adora, Catra, Bo, Glimmer, maybe one or two others, get on a ship and run away and saying, like, we're going to come back and we're going to save this. And they end up at some point at Eternia. I don't know. But then what I was worried about was like that was going to happen while they were in space. Right. And then they would find He-Man and bring He-Man back with them to solve the thing. And it's like, oh, the big bad villain was only defeated because we got the big strong man in to save it. And that would have been problematic for me, at least.
I think that, like, if we got a season 6 where we, like, went to Eternia, I think that it would end up being very Monster of the Week, which is what the first season, like, there's, like, 3 episodes in the first season when you first meet, like, Perfuma, Mermista, and Entrapta that feel Monster of the Weeky, and I'm like, that's fine, but the show is not really catered toward that, and that was one of my biggest problems with season 1, is it felt like a little bit weird that they had those episodes like that, and this show I don't think works that way. I don't think it would. I think it would end up, like, running too long. I feel like it would overstay its welcome if we tried to do that.
Yeah, I feel like that's a part that they should have explored at some point. They don't need to go into a full-on He-Man is awesome crossover, but something, because there is this big question of where did Adora come from? She came from a portal. Hell, they teased it with, well, they didn't really tease it, but they mentioned it, at least referenced it, with a flashback to, Hordak holding baby Adora. So it's like, you're clearly aware of that. You haven't forgotten that. So why don't you explore? There's a couple of episodes of Space Thing where they could have done that. But you're right. This is a good ending. This is a good climactic ending that does what it needs to do. And I am happy with it. I am. I feel like it's a what if, grass is greener sort of thing. So it's not really a criticism. It's just a nitpick.
Yeah. I guess, yeah. And I'm happy where it is.
And that is the show. Let's talk about the actors and the characters that were in the show and in the series as a whole. So we've got Amy Carrero returning as Adora and She-Ra, Karen Fukuhara as Glimmer, Eiji Machalka as Catra, excuse me, Marcus Scribner as Bo, Lorraine Toussaint as Toussaint? I don't know. It's French. I don't know how you say that. As Shadow Weaver. You mentioned earlier Keston John as he's Hordak, Horde Prime, wrong Hordak, Horde clones. They got their mileage out of Keston John.
Yeah.
And then we got Lauren Ash as Scorpia, awesome. Christine Woods and Entrapta, awesome. Genesis Rodriguez as Perfumer, awesome. Jordan Fisher, Seahawk, awesome. They're all awesome. I don't know. I don't need to preface that. Val Lavelle, Namista, Sandra Oh, returning as Castor Speller, Merritt Layton as Froster, Crystal Joy Brown as Natossa. Sign out, because I didn't bother to look this up. Is Crystal Joy Brown Noelle Stephenson's wife in real life?
No. Her wife's name is Molly. I don't know her full name, but her wife's name is Molly.
Okay, but Crystal Joy Brown is awesome in this, especially this season.
Oh, yeah.
And Noelle Stevenson is awesome in this season. Well, she's awesome all the time, but especially in this season.
Yeah.
Grey Griffin briefly returns as Raz, Adam Ray, Swiftwind, Zara Fazal briefly returns as Mara, Chris Alex as George, one of Bo's dads, Reggie Davis as Lance, the other one of Bo's dads. Daniel Day Kim returns as Micah. And I can never get a handle on that guy as an actor. He's in so much weird shit, but also sort of random shit, but also good shit. Just like, what are you, Daniel Day Kim? What are you, handsome bastard?
He's a god. He's an acting god.
Yeah. And then we got Beeson returning as well. Jacob Tobiah as Double Trouble, and John Lavelle as not Peekaboo, but also Alex Blue Davis as Jewel Star, Melissa Fumero as Starla, and Ashley Eckstein as Tall Star.
I didn't even notice that.
I knew that, in preparation for this episode, but I didn't know that when I was watching. And it's just like, oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Got Ahsoka Tano and what's the character name in Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
You were saying it earlier.
Santiago. Yes, I don't. Brain didn't work for a second there. Yeah. Oh god, it's so good. And John Lavelle.
Alex Blue Davis. Alex Blue Davis is it was the first trans actor on Grey's Anatomy, and that's kind of how he.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that. Well, that's awesome.
Nope.
And he's playing Jewel Star, canonically confirmed as being a man, so that's great. And yeah, that's all the people that are in this season. Obviously, there's more people that didn't turn up in this season, and it's. I mean, I love the show. You know what? I'm glad that they took the British approach and doing a limited run, not going forever and ever and ever and ever with this show. But I am kind of sad to see it go. But that's okay, because they told a complete story, beginning, middle, end, and it was good from beginning, middle, and end. Were there some problems along the way? Absolutely. No show is perfect, but you know what? I am damn satisfied.
Yep, me too.
And it's won many accolades, as well it should. It's got a fantastic reception, as well it should. And now they're gonna follow it up with what's his face? Kevin Smith doing an anime He-Man cartoon.
Oh God, really?
That's what I heard. I heard that ages ago. I don't know what?
No, sorry. He's doing a live action movie. I think that's what it is.
I heard it might have been like anime inspired or something, but okay, fine. Good luck with you, Kevin. It's going to take me a while to get over this show. But then again, because it had so little connection with He-Man, maybe I'll be able to get over that. And I really, really hope this, now that it's over, Noelle Stevenson goes on and it propels her in the world of animation, storytelling, and filmmaking. And I hope many more follow in her footsteps, because this is damn good storytelling, damn good character development. That's also funny and sweet and heartfelt and a little bit angsty at times, but also has great representation, but that's grounded in great characters. And oh god, I can't stop singing the show's praises. I can't. And when I don't have kids, but when I have kids, I will make them watch the show. They will be forced, like, we want to watch Teletubbies. You'll watch She-Ra and you will like it. And is there anything more really we could say either about this season or the show in general?
No, it's so good. It deserves everything that it gets, and I'm glad that it was around for such a short time, like 3 years, for 5 seasons, and it kicked ass, did what it needed to do, and left, and that's all I can ask for.
Because we've started reviewing TV shows on the show, and some of them have fallen by the wayside for one reason or another. Maybe because the show ended prematurely, or just because we didn't care enough, or there was a scheduling conflict. But ever since I first saw She-Ra on Netflix around Christmas time or November time, whatever it was, at my parents' house, I thought, I have to review this. I have to talk about this. And I'm very glad that I got to do a review, Alex.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I got to, have this platform to talk about this good ass show and keep me to watch it, because I'm very bad at keeping up with shows even if I like them. So it made
I'm the same. You're absolutely right. It's like, I'm not ready to get my heart broken again, but I'm glad to get my heart broken by She-Ra because it's worth it, because the things you care about are worth getting hurt over. And this show didn't hurt me. It helped me. It really, really did. And Capers, if for whatever reason you haven't seen the show, just like hearing me talk about it, go and watch the show already. Just go and watch it. You will not be, even if it's not your cup of tea, you know, it's still good. You'll still like it. And if you have seen it, watch it again. It's all there on Netflix. You know, it's a pretty quick binge through, honestly. Couple of days. You know, what else are you going to be doing now that COVID's locked down, you know? What else are you going to be doing? Watch this great show. And if perhaps someone on the way might inspire you to write your own TV show or comic book or film with characters like these, go for it, because we need more stuff like this. Not direct copies, but just stuff that's inspired by it in terms of representation, but also just good storytelling. Because I think what we really all we need right now is just a good story. And She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, of all things, delivered a fantastic story. And on that note, I think we're going to end the show. Thank you very much, Alex, for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And if you enjoy the show, Capers, please tell your friends, shout it from the rooftops. And if you haven't already, go back into some of our super episodes, like our previous 4 She-Ra episodes. Watch them all, they're awesome. And you can listen to the show on iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, Spotify, or podcapers.com. If you want to get in touch with us, suggest show topics, or maybe come on the show yourself, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at APTUHYC. Thank you very much to Dan Harris for our logo, the lovely microphone, the red and blue 3D glasses, those are mine. And thank you for listening. This has been Podcapers, the official podcast for a place to hang your cape. Cue the music!